Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and pardon our split DM here. Right before we went live, looks like Cassie lost connection. So we'll get Cassie back here in just a moment. Anyway, hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is All That Glitters, a Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign happening every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain. And right off the bat, looks like Everjay has just resubscribed for 15 months in a row. So that, of course, means that we are going to, let's see. I think I just took one away on accident. My Stream Deck is acting very strange right now. I might have to just stop using it. Oh, look at that. Cassie's back and just popped right into position. So.
Oh, gosh. That scared me.
So I'm going to try a thing. So we think, those of you that have been with us for a while might remember that there is an occasional glitch that I've been dealing with where the stream will just drop out for a second, and then we come back in. Usually lasts about 30 seconds. Don't know if that's fixed. The internet completely went out last week. This is our first stream since then. I'm having other technical issues that seem to be... Well, I just restarted the Stream Deck and it seems to be working better. Okay. We'll get all the gremlins out right off the bat. Cassie already lost connection and we got her back. If only we could fix the Dwight glitch. He's fixing that with bed rest. Dwight's not feeling well. So send your healing potions to Bevyn. Sounds like he could use them. Let's see. Usual announcements. Mini Terrain Domain is a proud partner with Jasper's Game Day. You can type in Jasper's into the chat, or you can click the link down below to get more information about Jasper's Game Day. Jasper's Game Day is a wonderful organization founded by Fenway Jones, the teen DM, with the primary goal to raise awareness and money for crisis centers for the prevention of suicide. To that end, we have in our chat commands, you can also type help to get the National Suicide Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. Or you can text 741-741. Trained professionals are standing by. If you feel the need to talk to somebody, please do not hesitate to use that number, which is scrolling along the bottom and reappears about every couple minutes, along with some other information about our domain dice. You can see there are 12 of them. The red dice below Mike on the overlay there. That is our way of letting you, the viewers, contribute to the stream, to our game, and have an influence on the game by a simple contribution of $5 or 500 bits. And as you saw right at the top of the stream, subscriptions, resubscriptions, and those kind of things also count towards domain dice that give us, the players, the opportunity to re-roll d20s, force the DM to re-roll a d20, and some other wonderful results that can come about based on the number of domain dice that we spend. And we love having the option to re-roll. I've gotten so used to domain dice being a thing that in other games, when I play in the brutal games of Megan, and there's no domain dice, it's very harsh. I'm often remarking, oh no, I don't get to re-roll this. So we do greatly appreciate your contribution to participate in that way. And we'd love to hear any ideas you have of other ways that we could utilize your contributions. It'd just be interesting to see what you, the audience, think. And we'll take it under advisement. Oh, also coffee you'll see down there at the bottom, you'll see that there's an Initiative Coffee Company logo. Down below, or by typing coffee, man, Andrew, you are on top of it tonight. Dropping the links left and right in the chat. There's the link for Metade roast coffee. It is a medium Brazilian and Peruvian roast coffee, and it is so good. It's actually just a good all day long coffee. And for every 12-ounce bag that you buy, $3 goes to benefit Jasper's Game Day. It is a partnership between Mini Terrain Domain and Initiative Coffee Company's Help Action. Final announcement, you will notice down in the lower right-hand corner, just below Megan there, the D&D Beyond logo. While D&D Beyond is not officially a sponsor of Mini Terrain Domain, they have given us insider access to D&D Beyond, and that is why if you are watching the stream live on Twitch with us, you can mouse over the window, and you will see on the left-hand side, our characters will pop out. And you can see information about them. Sometimes I think you have to hit refresh. I'm not sure what the refresh rate is on there because one of mine isn't refreshing right now. But at any rate, you can see our characters, and if you click on one of them while it mouses over, the character sheet will pop out on the screen as well, so that you can view that. It lets you see what each of our characters are, what their levels are, what kind of abilities they have, and so on. I think that about wraps it up for the announcements. I'm going to turn it over to our DM, Mike.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Gosh, you know what? It's been a little while. It's been a little while. It's almost like it's been like a week or something, maybe even 2. But I'm sure I'm happy that you're back, coming in with us again to the City of Splendors for all that glitters. Now, we'll just jump right into it. And before we jump right into it, we have an important announcement to make. Very, very important announcement to make. For I am a merciful DM. I am also a generous DM. And Megan has something to celebrate down there. You go. It is Megan's birthday today, and she has chosen to spend that time gaming with us today, and I thought that's really freaking awesome. And because of that, then I am going to give you 2 points of inspiration, and your very first roll, whatever it is, going to be with advantage. So, yeah, well, look, you know what? I mean, what do you want from me? I'm not going to give you like a +3 Holy Defender. But happy birthday, and it is truly touching that you would spend your birthday with us instead of winning it big at the casino. I don't know, whatever birthday people do.
Because that was the only other option.
Yeah, pretty much.
Happy birthday, Megan.
Happy birthday, Megan.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Show Megan some love in the Twitch chat with all of your birthday felicitations. Is like Everjay. You know, you got that. But anyway, before we jump into it, though, who would like to do a recap of the last session that we played? When was that? My goodness, was that 2 weeks ago?
It was just, I think it was just last week.
It was just last week.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lots of stuff happened.
It had been like a month before that, I think.
That's what it was.
But yeah, we just played last week. So you would think the events of last week would be fresh in our minds.
They are a little bit. I got my note cards.
I believe you did the recap last time.
I did.
Unless Megan wants to do it, I will do it. But I will cede to Megan if she wishes. She's vigorously shaking her head no. So as usual, I'm going to do the recap from Six's point of view. because 6 remembers everything that has to do with himself. And right off the bat, holy cow, 4, that is from our friend Jason Everj, has just dropped 500 bits, a domain die, specifically in honor of Megan's birthday. Thank you for that, Jason. All right, so we managed to find our way out of the sewers, and I tell you, it was wonderful to be out from those sewers, because it was a horrible smelling. It was a foul. I think no matter how many baths I take, it is still in my hair. Either that, or every time somebody else walks into the room, we smell it again. All day long, I'm prestidigitating, trying to get the stench out. But we did get out, and we found ourselves to be in the possession of the fabled, mystical, magical Stone of Golor. I think I got that right that time. And so another domain dice has suddenly appeared in our treasury. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Let's see. So we were talking about whether or not we should keep a hold of this thing, or if we should give it back to the open lord, the open lady of Waterdeep, the Silverhand, and I'm pretty sure it was my idea to get a hold of Mert to call in a favor, as my connection with the Harpers. Though I may have made a mistake in having Asche come along with me, not being fully vetted into the organization. Apparently, I occasionally overestimate my powers as a Harper. Mert was not too happy with that. He also made it very clear that should anybody, Anna and Bevyn, decide they wanted to keep hold of the Stone of Golor, this would be a very, very bad idea. It would be very dangerous. I tried to post some hypotheticals about what would happen if nobody knew, and he seemed pretty adamant that somebody would know, and people would probably die. But it didn't matter, because apparently the Stone of Golor we found may as well have been a bezoar from a goat's belly, because it's apparently just a rock. So, by my estimation, we spent a lot of time in the sewer. We got open wounds while in raw sewage for a rock, for a nothing. So, all in all, I think it was a net balance of 0 there. Oh, and on top of that, not finding the treasure we were looking for, not having access to all of these monies, we were told that our establishment is not quite up to snuff for the hoity-toity wine tasting festival, and we have to spend more money to make it be so. So, I guess that makes it, I think it was like, hey, if you spend like 500 gold pieces, you can make it okay. So that makes it a net loss of 500 gold dragons. I don't think Bevyn knows as much about business as he likes to pretend. So, anyway, that's where we left it, and we said, you know what, it's time to go to bed. And that's what we did.
Very nice. Give yourself a point of inspiration on that. And without any further ado, if anyone has any massive questions, let's get right into session number 24 of All That Glitters. Sleep takes you very quickly after that very interesting Lantanese brandy nightcap. You awake the next morning, though you should be more worse for wear. Something about this brandy actually you kind of wake up feeling like you've rested a lot longer than you have. If you were to gauge it outside in the morning, The sun is just starting to crest the rooftops, and the steam coming off of the roof is creating this kind of very lovely like wisps of smoke as each one of you wakes up. So at this point, governing the wake up, go to the bathroom, as you do, and of course getting dressed and everything. What would you all be doing?
I think Ash would be down in, the main area, probably waiting for everybody else to get up, having already eaten. She's ready to go. She still does want to try and talk with, find out more information about the illusion that was around her guild, but she's thinking more of the stone of Galore. Where has she heard of it? She can't remember, and she's hoping that the others might have a better idea as to what to do with it.
All right.
I think that Anna, after she gets up, gets dressed, do her very, very important morning knife throwing exercises. She would go down to the kitchen in the tavern area and see what she can scrounge up for some food.
And as you go down, you see your cook actually is there a bit early. Looks like he's getting together an actual like roast, like a full-on beef roast. And he's kind of like stoking the fire. It's still raw, so I mean, it's you definitely don't want to like cut a little piece off and eat it, unless you want to. In which case, I mean, that's on you, but probably not. He just nods his head and kind of points to a pot that's been kind of simmering. Looks like he's made some porridge. You see like a couple of kind of loaves of what looks to be like just like crusty like kind of French bread loaves, kind of like right beside it. You see some butter, and some other like bits and bobs for breakfast. Before you go, though, he kind of, one moment. Someone came by. The people who work at the smithy. I don't remember their names, but you know who I mean. Very, very nice couple. And he kind of like rummages around the kitchen, and he picks up what looks to be like this kind of very like sizable box. It looks to be at least about 4 feet by 2.5 feet by another like 8 inches, and he just kind of like hands it to you. Right, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. They dropped it off this morning before the dawn. Anyway, I have to get this ready for everything, so go away. Thank you. And he goes back, and you see him kind of like putting on this big like bowl of spices, and he's kind of like putting the spice all over, and he's just kind of like massaging it into this like huge like roast.
Yeah, Anna's already, I can imagine she has like a piece of bread stuffed in her mouth, and so anything that she says is not very, you're not able to hear it very well, so she just kind of mumbles something and waves her hand before she takes a box, piles her massive breakfast on it, and returning to the common room.
Ooh, Anna, what is that thing?
A box, as you can see.
I guess you guys ordered it before I was here, but yes, it's a box. Is it like a treasure box? What is it?
Right, well, pretty sure I know what it is, but should probably wait for 6 and Bev to come.
Oh, fine. All right. Well, hopefully they'll come down here shortly. I feel like we've been waiting all morning. And her voice gets a little louder.
Yeah, Anna just sits, begins stuffing her face.
I would imagine that probably in a fairly similar timing that Bevyn probably would have gone down to the tavern, gotten some coffee and a plate of food. And
you have to do Bevyn's voice, right? You have to do Bevyn's voice and Six's voice, and you can't mix them up this time.
And so he would come up with his plate of food and his mug of coffee, sipping on it. What do you got there, Anna?
It's a box.
And that's all she's going to say. I don't know.
I thought it was usually 6 that was the smartass.
I'm learning.
And 6 would take that as his cue to come in. Did somebody order a smartass?
A smart-ass tabaxi. All right, so what's in the box? What is it? I'm sorry. I'm really awake. I'm really awake right now. Got a good long rest. Felt good. Ready to go. Sorry, I'll stop.
Wait, there's a box?
Anna gestures to the box that she's probably literally either sitting on or has a foot on or something. Right. It's from someone. She's trying to like make it as it's something that we've been expecting for a while. And I think we will get some good use out of these things. Or we're gonna die.
Wait, did we already order new decorations?
No.
That just happened last night.
This is way, way better. Way better. And I think at that she would open up the box.
And not surprising, you find the items that you have ordered from Avi and Embrick, actually from the whole group when they had come to you all. So as you see a couple of rapiers, you pull out a rapier and it has like a little tag and it has a very beautiful like calligraphic script on it, and it says Anna. And as you pull out the rapier, most rapier blades are kind of straight because they're made for pointing, like they're made for just lunging, jabbing, getting in between bits of armor. This one has just the slightest curve, almost as if you can not only jab, but you can also slash. It has a very beautiful kind of like basket to the rapier's hilt. The basket is kind of interwoven with different designs. You see kind of a lot of like swirling patterns and very like, they look complex. At first they look simple, and then the more you look at it, the more like different pictures and designs and everything else. It's almost like it's designed to like obfuscate the eyes, where it's like, what is that? Like, like it's almost like a distraction. And as you pull the blade out, it's beautifully etched with like vines and scroll work going up the blade, and you can feel almost immediately. It's almost like it's like a static electrical shock, but without the without the pain. So you feel this kind of like this thrum kind of through you, and it just automatically feels like you've always had this sword. You also see unfortunately, I did lose the piece of paper with everyone's stuff on it, so I only vaguely remember. You see another rapier for it says Bevyn on it. So I'm pretty sure Bevyn ordered a rapier, I think, as well. Or was it a crossbow?
That's a great question.
Yeah. You know what? I bet you someone in chat is like,
I thought Six ordered a rapier.
You did order a rapier. I know Anna ordered a rapier. No,
That's Six. You ordered a scimitar.
Yeah, you ordered a scimitar.
Oh, that's right. I did order a scimitar because I have a rapier.
Yes. So you ordered a scimitar. I know Anna ordered a rapier. Pretty sure Bevyn ordered a rapier, and I'm not 100% sure what Kiaria ordered. I think was it a dagger, or was it a crossbow? Needless to say, because I'm not just going to sit there and go, needless to say, your weapons or your magical weapons are there, each one of them, like to you. Bevyn can, or at least Dwight can, double check on that, and we can get right back into it, or at least we can decide on that one after. But sure enough, you all have it. Six, your rapier looks almost
Scimitar.
Your scimitar looks very fluid, very organic, a bit more like a saber than a scimitar. Not as thick of a blade, still very thin and very agile. Holding it in your hand and even flicking it and balancing it, you can see the balance is perfect, and you just have one finger out and it's not even moving. It is so perfectly balanced, and with a quick flick of your finger, you grab it by the hilt, spin it, and throw it back in the sheath. And the sheath itself it's a little ostentatious. Matter of fact, Anna, I think that's probably the first thing you'd look at. It's like, yep, that's definitely a sword for Six, because it's a little gaudy, and it's flashy, and it's kind of silly. But hey, you know what? You know he's gonna love it.
I immediately picture that the sheath is in like a very high quality purple velvet with gold embroidery all around it.
And that is exactly what it is too. It is like, and even stitched into like a very overstuffed pillow pattern, with that kind of cross stitch, and it looks just like I said, really, really ostentatious. But hey, it's yours. And then Kiari, again, can't remember if she ordered a dagger or a crossbow, but that is the last thing you see is the weapon for Kiaria.
Do you think you guys would... She'd probably appreciate you sending it her way. I don't know where she went. I don't remember.
I don't think she said exactly where she was going, did she? She just...
Well, she did. She kept it private for the most part, but she did mention it was somewhere east. Yes, east of Neverwinter.
I feel like this is something that I will hold on to until I have an opportunity to talk to Mart again, and I think through the Harpers they can arrange to have it delivered. Through our organization, we can arrange to have it delivered to Kiaria.
All right then. So, with these look amazing, by the way. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they. What is it, Avi and Embrick? They did an amazing job. And what is it? Ash reaches out just to see Kiara's weapon in particular, unsheathing the dagger, just kind of checking it out. And I love to see the work of another good maker. And she resheathes it and puts it back in the box for now.
Ash, do you use bladed weapons? I've only seen you throw bolts of fire and such.
It's not my preferred, but yes, I do actually. I have 2 daggers, and she reaches out to behind her apron, like the front of it is off, so it's just covering her lap. But she reaches into her belt and she pulls out just a small, maybe 5-inch dagger. It's very plain, but obviously seen a lot of wear.
But you don't use longer blades like these?
Not particularly. My magic really just, I've been working on it, and I don't know. I never really gotten a sword play.
If you ever want to know anything about the swords, I'm a bit of an expert. But the real reason that I was asking you is, I now have a spare scimitar. If you need one.
I'll keep it in mind, but I got my bow, I got my daggers, I got my magic. I feel pretty good, but I do appreciate it.
I feel like Bevyn would kind of speak up and be like, Six, if you're not going to use that weapon, you could always consider selling it. I can't do his accent. I'm trying and I can't get into it. It's there's so many tones that are similar to what I do for Six that I can't keep the two straight.
Yeah, I know. It was mostly it's like watching NASCAR. I just really wanted to see you crash and burn.
Bevyn's accent is one of those I have to do for a little while in preparation to be able to do it.
Oh yeah, big time, big time. No, that full on like South Irish accent is just wow. But,
I just saw Cajun Kevin in the chat just called it 6 days in the Bevyn.
Love it. I love it. As a matter of fact,
that sounds like a romance novel.
Yes, it is. That is the fanfic that we're going to be putting together as a part of that.
That is this campaign's hot brimstone.
That's right. Yeah.
6 days into Bevyn.
I love it. It rolls off the tongue.
It's a very Rabold.
I love it. Anyway, so what are you planning on doing? What you doing?
All right. So just to clarify, and this is partly for the audience as well, that these weapons are +1 magical.
Yes. Yeah. So these are nothing uber fancy about them, but they are +1. They are still magical weapons, and that gets you quite far with certain things. So,
I think Ash would ask, though, just to make it perfectly clear for her. She would ask, until we run into Kiara again, could I use that dagger? Unless you'd rather sell it. I know you need money to help fix up or spruce this place up for those fancy people.
There's no way we would sell this. I think Bevyn was suggesting that we would perhaps sell the extra scimitar that I have, but I don't see any reason why you could not use it. I mean, otherwise it's going to sit around waiting until we can get it to Kiara, and this way it gets some use, and you can kind of... It's like a trial period if you want to order something for yourself from Avian Embrick.
I would appreciate it. And so if this one is +1 magic, what would that mean stat-wise? Because I'm new to that.
+1 to damage and +1 to attack.
Yeah. So whatever you would have for your attack normally, and because a dagger is a finesse weapon, that means that you don't have to use strength with it, or you can if you want, if you have a higher strength. But you can choose between dex and strength. So because it's +1, so you'd have proficiency with it. So you'd add your proficiency, and this is to attack, you'd add your proficiency plus your dex or strength bonus, whichever one, and then add 1 to that score.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and then, sorry.
I was just going to say, since we're using D&D Beyond, if you go to your equipment and manage equipment, then the little thing that pops up, you type in, like I just typed in scimitar, and in the list of items is a scimitar +1.
Got it.
And I just clicked add, and then within my own inventory, I can select that it's equipped, and that'll automatically add the +1 into your stats.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
Are you guys planning to sell your like the weapons that you currently have, your mundane, regular old weapons?
Not Anna.
Not Anna?
She would be. You would see as soon as she gets this other rapier, she'd be holding both rapiers, one rapier in each hand, and just doing some like stances and trying it out.
I would actually try to sell my extra scimitar. I'm keeping my rapier.
Okay, right. And I'm not sure about Bevyn. For now, we just say we won't until he wants to.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of time to catch him up between now and then.
To make a long encounter short, when you do go to sell it, the one weaponsmith has a look at it and says, she no right weapon. Tell you what, I will give you for that 15 gold.
Uh, 15 gold dragons.
Yeah, 15.
I think that is a fair amount. I will accept this. I will not trouble you with meaningless bartering and bantering.
Huh. All right, well, I was half expecting you adventuring types to go and start haggling over everything. Good. And he kind of reaches into a pouch and pulls out 15 dragons and plunks it right on the table. Pleasure doing business. Is there anything else you wanted to quickly sell with the guy? This is you taking off, by the way. Like, obviously, you just take off and not quite in Troll Skull Alley, but at least, another weapons merchant, or at least another merchant around.
No, I don't really have. I myself, I don't really have anything extra to sell. So I'm good, but I would just look out, be looking to quickly get rid of the extra sword, make a couple extra gold dragons on the side.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Now, does anyone else have anything that they want to quickly sell or try to switch up or anything or buy?
I would love to get some potions while we're here. Probably
Cool.
gonna need that.
Alrighty.
And what's the cost on those?
So a small potion of healing, which is the kind of like real basic stuffs. That you're looking at around 50 gold per.
Oh dang, like 50 gold. Never mind then. Only got what, 15? Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's
How do we obtain more gold then?
Well, that depends if you're asking Six or you're asking Anna and Bevyn.
I
I feel like your
I think-
answers will vary greatly.
I think Ash would ask 6 first.
Well, I mean, supposedly there are jobs that can be done all over the city. And I mean, you've already met Mert. Perhaps I could go to Mert and see if he has any other work for us to do, and then you could help out. And if we get payment for this, we split our payments as we help out with each other. Bevyn and Anna have other business options usually. However,
Oh wait, so you mentioned just getting stuff done. Why don't we just go turn in that stone to the lady? Galore.
weren't you with me last night when we were talking to Mert about this?
I mean, yes.
So you did hit the part where he said it is not the real stone.
Shoot. Yeah. Oh, I forgot.
And I mean, again, I'm no Anna or Bevyn. They may want to think of maybe a way to try and do this to deceive the open lady, but this does not seem like a good idea to me.
Yeah, after seeing how serious Mert was about it, I don't think putting a fake stone in front of her is a good idea at all.
Well, to be honest, I don't think that even matters. I mean, from what Mert was saying, it wasn't even the lady Silverhand that we were talking to. So there's a whole bunch of people that are. It's kind of like that game you ever see out on the streets when people are playing this game with the cards and moving it around. Hey, here's the queen. Now, where did she go? Where did she go? And they
Yeah.
take your money. Yeah, it's kind of like that. But I feel like it's two of those people playing against each other, at the very least.
Got it.
And the queen in the cards may also be a part of it. I don't know. It's very confusing.
It is. All right then. Well,
And are we? We're still all in the common room, right?
Yep.
Like-
We're all
like-
still in the common room.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Bevyn and Anna. Your usual methods of, your Zentarum connections are a bit spent at the moment. Yes. Like
Yeah.
you don't exactly want to go around saying, "Hey, I'm a Zent." I mean, you don't normally want to do this anyway, but it seems like it's especially a bad idea these days.
Yeah. Right. It's probably better that we leave that little side alone for a bit at least. But I mean, Bev and I found work before we worked for the Zens.
And if this is the horizon line of legality, where would your work be? Above this line or below this line?
Well, I
Just-
mean, it's all a matter of opinion and perspective, isn't it?
You see what I'm talking about, Ash?
Yes, I do. Well, maybe it is good to go talk to Mert, or
I will, having just spoken to him a few hours ago and he was not so very happy, maybe what I will do is I will write him a letter, I will send it to him via paper bird, and we'll see what he comes back with. So in the meantime, you know what? I need to go down and get some food anyway. So I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to eat some food. And I will write a paper bird to Mert, and we'll just see.
Do you want to use that fox that Kiaria gave me?
Carrie, gave you a fox?
And Anna would hold up the little fox figurine that Kiaria had given her. It might be easier and safer.
Do you know how to use it?
She kind of stops. She looks down at the... Well, not exactly. But it shouldn't be that hard.
Well, may I? And I'll hold my hand out.
She'd place it on Six's paw.
So, is this like a glass figurine kind of thing, or?
Yeah, it's a white porcelain fox, and it is it thrums with magic in your hand. It has like it looks like kind of a kit fox, has like very large, almost kind of comical sort of ears, very large tail, kind of small. It's a very cute. It's a very, very cute looking little figurine.
I gently sort of tap it with just the tip of a claw, just to get that sort of that kind of porcelain ting 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 ting, and I kind of hold it up to my face with my other hand, and I look at it and I say, "What does the fox say?"
It breaks. It shatters in your hand.
no.
And amazingly enough, the sound of it shattering is almost mirrored to the shattering of someone's heart far to the north and to the right of Neverwinter at the loss of her adorable fox. Don't you ever do that again. No. GM, I don't do this normally, but no. No.
I can't reference the Fox song. This coming from the person who breaks the fourth wall every session.
Yeah, but when I do it, it's classy, okay? The Fox song is just...
If you go back and watch this episode, for about 20 seconds before I say it, you can see me holding back a smirk.
Oh, no, yeah. Oh, you could.
I couldn't resist it. I couldn't resist it.
I'm like, oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay, so we'll retcon that as I hold this thing in my hand.
As you kind of like, as you tap on the fox, it does seem to kind of move, and it seems to kind of collapse unto itself into dust, and that dust kind of seems to shoot away from your hand and kind of reform into what looks to be a live Arctic kit fox.
All right, there you go. Not that hard.
All right, I will. Let's try this. Hello, Mr. Fox. I am 6. I was friends with Kiaria. Maybe you remember me. I have a message for Mert. We are looking for work. Some kind of task that need to be done that will result in us being paid in gold. Waiting eagerly for your reply. 6 days into summer, sword dancer, Esquire.
Esquire.
It sits down and with its hind leg begins scratching behind its ear.
Take this message to Mert.
Then it does that cute thing that baby huskies do where it starts like cocking its head left and right. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And so,
I think you broke it.
Go. Run along, little fox.
Could I try and roll for like, I don't know, Arcana?
yeah, you know what? Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Okay.
Roll for make an Arcana check, and if not, then you can do Intelligence.
Sweet. Oh fudge. That was only a 6.
You have domain dice.
We do have a lot, so I am gonna use one.
Yeah.
Okay, 12.
All right. So you've heard of these porcelain foxes before. They're kind of used as messengers. They're very, very fast, and they're just small enough that they can kind of like get into nooks and crannies. But they can't speak. Normally, it would be given a note to kind of put into its like collar or something, and it would go. It's like a paper bird, but it's better than a paper bird because paper birds can easily be intercepted, and these little balls of like white, adorable, furry grease lightning just like as soon as you give them a message, are gone. It takes a little bit longer, but it's guaranteed safe.
So since Ash knows what it is, she's smirking a little and just kind of giggling quietly as Six is talking to this tiny little fox. And she finally pipes up after seeing the fox just being cute. Says, so Six, what you need to do is you need to actually write a note. They'll hold it, you can attach it to its collar, to its foot, whatever, just like like one of those pigeons, a carrier pigeons, and then just send it on its way.
Well, this just seems like an extra step than the paper bird I was going to send in the first place.
But this thing can get into all the nooks and crannies and get there much more efficiently. Or quickly. Safely. Oh my gosh.
Okay. I will be right back. And I will go to what was Kiaria's room and see if she left any stationery behind, write out everything.
Yeah, there's a quill, there's everything you possibly need. And I imagine that everything you said, you probably would put into that exact note.
Actually, as I say, I'm going to go see if I can find some paper. Bevyn reaches over and hands me a note where he's written down everything I said. I feel like Bevyn probably would have known how this thing worked from Kiaria.
More than likely, and he was probably sick of you struggling at that point.
All right.
So I will give him this note and send it on its way.
Right.
Actually, if it's okay, I just kind of remembered there is something that Anna would like to buy. She would like to buy a poisoner's kit and a book about poisons, if possible.
Ooh.
All right. So as far as a poisoner's kit, that wouldn't be any trouble at all. A book on poisons, however, you would probably be able to find in the library if you so want to have a look, as opposed to, buying one.
Yeah. She would probably actually look in the library before.
Now, give me a second about there is. Nope, not that one. Oh, this is going to be fun. Remember that time when I decided it would be a really, really, really smart idea to write down everything about every single god, and then you just can't remember which god does what again?
Oh, dang.
Oh, wait. Bam. Okay. Found it. Luckily. Ah, right. So, roll me an intelligence check or a wisdom check, whichever one is higher. And of course, because it's your birthday, advantage.
They are. I'm gonna do wisdom. For some reason she is better. That is a 21.
Sweet. So, you know from your time here that there's a place that you can go that has different sorts of poisons if you absolutely need it. It's kind of out of the way and it's hidden in a spot, but you know that it is in a place called the Dripping Dagger, or the Inn of the Dripping Dagger. So that's definitely a place you can go. You can also go to, if you wanted to, in the castle ward, you can go to Galuntir's Apothecary. That place is, I mean, you know, it's up to you. I'm not gonna tell you any more than that. Go ahead, you pick it.
Sounded very suspicious. I think she would go to the Dripping Dagger because that just sounds cooler.
Sounds like a
Fair
brothel.
enough. Fair.
A
Oh,
brothel.
I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?
you have permanent disadvantage for the rest of this session.
Ouch.
So, now, would you want to make this an outing right now? Did you want to tell anyone else, or you just want to hey, I'm just gonna step outside for a smoke, and then kind of.
Yeah, that would be totally Anna's style. I feel like Anna would do that even if she went out to get a loaf of bread. Everything is just so secret.
That's perfectly fair. All right, well, you smoke bomb away. You know that the Inn of the Dripping Dagger is, on the high road, going down the high road, just past Selduth Street, which goes to the City of the Dead. It's kind of right across from a block of houses and shops. And you kind of make your way there. Now, suddenly, 1 minute, Anna is there. The next minute, she's gone. Because smoke bomb. What would the rest of you be doing? I guess, besides, I don't know if you're just going to wait for Mert's response, or...
Well, so 6. I know I was there obviously last night with Mert, and or actually, who was it that was talking about the inn not being cushy enough? Who was that? Do you remember?
Oh. That was somebody drew a lion with 100 eyes on my notebook. I can't remember his name.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not a big deal. I was wondering, what do you want to do to make this place look a little bit neater? Because I know...
Go ahead.
I just you guys want to have that cushy party here, right? The wine festival?
Well, it's going to do a lot of good to bring new clientele to the... Yes, we do.
So I'm sure, if we went towards the market or guild district, we could probably get some supplies. But I don't know what kind of budget this place has for such a thing.
Well, that was something we had started to talk about last night. We do have some funds. And I don't know if we ever got around to that. Because, Megan, I don't know if you know the number or if Dwight was keeping track of that. But we have money.
It was Dwight. But we had determined that we do have enough to pay for the upgrade.
So, I'll tell Dwight that we spent 500 gold. But yeah, I mean, if we have the money, then I mean, that is. Are you saying that is something we can go and do? That you want to do, Ash?
Well, I mean, so do you remember the apple cart and when I kind of blacked out and you guys were going, or we got separated? I guess what I'd rather do. I met with this little gnome woman. She kind of helped me up, and she was taking me to the guild area, and we saw this really weird building. Like people were kind of, it looked like they were disappearing in and out of it, or just people being shifty, you know, wearing cloaks, and I'm kind of curious about checking that out.
That sounds amazing. But
Definitely more exciting than trying to make this place look
maybe
different.
that sounds like a great job for Bevyn to do, is to take the money and go and make arrangements to not at all metagaming, not having to deal with Bevyn. I definitely do think that Bevyn would feel much more comfortable handling the money and purchasing the decorations than allowing Six to purchase decor and things like that for the inn. So I'm with you, Ash. This sounds amazing.
I don't gosh, so I guess yeah, we should definitely check it out. Like I said, it's near where I thought Muddy Paws was supposed to be. So we should probably head down to where the guilds are and check that out. Of course, wait, where did Anna go? Because at this point, Ash would look outside and be like, she's not here.
Oh,
That was good. That was really good. Where did she go?
Where did she go?
Who can say?
Exactly.
Big puff of smoke.
she's... Who knows? She's probably going off to acquire something or procure something, and it's probably best that we are not able to say specifically where she is. And what do they call that? Plausible deniability?
I guess so. Let's. Well,
Yeah, it's about
well.
right.
I guess she's off on her own. I mean, she'll be okay, right?
I think Anna has been... Anna does pretty well on her own.
Okay.
She survived for quite a long time without us. She has to be careful of the kind of trouble she gets into. I don't think she can completely survive without us, but she disappears like this from time to time, and she would probably be okay. So I guess we will split the party, as they say. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, we'll be careful. But I imagine we have to go to the trades ward. I think, right? I don't remember.
We're off to a banging start.
Hey, I'm new here. I'm new to this city. I don't remember everything.
Right. She's just a small town girl, man, living in a lonely world, right? She took a midnight baggage train
Going anywhere.
She ended up in Waterdeep.
I did.
Okay, so Journey
When I do
is
it,
okay.
when I do it, it's classy, right? See, that was Journey, and Journey is classy.
This journey is classy.
It is classy. Come on. Anyway, so as the three of you are, so you are sending Bevyn to go and take care of all of this, right? Like
Yes.
the whole, okay. So yeah, he takes off, nods, and he kind of disappears, totally not going to intimidate or find anything that fell off the back of a wagon or anything. So he takes off and does his thing. Meanwhile, Anna, you've been traveling down the high road for a little while now, and then you finally get to the Inn of the Dripping Dagger, and it is basically a wooden sign, what looks to be a dagger kind of just like hanging off as kind of a point in the wood. And interestingly enough, it is actually started, the fog is condensated on the sign, where it is actually dripping water onto the ground itself. The inn is open. As you kind of open the door, you're kind of hit with this kind of like darkened, kind of musty smell of like the cooking fire, like basically whatever, something was roasting here last night, but it isn't right now. You see a few like really hardcore regulars, and you could probably tell the regulars in there drinking. Most of them, well, actually all of them have their hoods up, and most of them have their backs like where their faces are obscured, but you know they're people, and you know they're drinking. The bartender kind of walks up as soon as you like are started walking towards the bar. The bartender walks up. You can tell she's a tall human woman with a kind of wicked scar that kind of starts at the very corner of her eye and kind of goes like across the top of her mouth and all the way down to her chin, right in the back. Can I help you?
Yeah. I'm interested in procuring some items that might be used for nefarious purposes. Just some odds and ends.
Her brows furrow for a moment. What were you, you think you could just come in here and ask for some, what, illegal goods? You think I'd fall for something like that? Bunch of fucking city watchers. Leave. Go on you go.
Well, isn't that what you do here? I'm not a city watch. Look at me. Do I look like a city watch? No. And she kind of spits on the ground.
You spit in my bar again, I'm gonna kill you.
Right. Listen, I need to get back. Do you have what I'm looking for? I have gold, or don't you? And I will go on my way and I'll find someone else who has it.
Come on. And she kind of starts like sidling over to the like farthest end of the bar. Right, so what kind are you looking for?
Well, I'm not looking for any kind. I'm more looking to learn how to make my own. Right, listen, here's the deal. I'm with a bunch of different people, and most of them have been able to use magic. And it makes me feel pretty weak sometimes. And, I read that sometimes you can get a little bit of an edge.
Well, wait a minute. When it comes to that sort of a thing, I sell the finished product. Right? I don't give classes on how to make poisons. That would just be stupid, wouldn't it?
Right, I don't want classes. I want I
If you
just want, any leftover bottles
look,
or
look.
mixes.
You want to learn how to make poisons? Then go see a druid. If you want to buy a poison, then come see me. Or go to the apothecary across the way. Now, do you want to buy a poison? Or do you want to learn how to make a poison? So if you want to learn how to make a poison, go see someone with nature. I don't know half of this shite. Just sell it.
Where do you get it?
From someone.
Right. Someone.
Well, if you're playing cards, someone asks you what hand you have, you don't just up and tell them now, do you? You make them pay for it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, fine.
Look, I've heard there's a good apothecary up in the North Ward. Go talk to them. Maybe they'd be able to help you out. I think there's another apothecary far up north at the end of where the hell is it? If you went all the way straight up, took the high road straight up past the field ward, out of the city, and you traveled along the road to Ammon's farm, I think there's at least one druid there. I think that's about it. Druids don't really hang out in cities.
Okay. Right. Thanks.
But do you want to buy a poison or not?
No. Thanks.
All right.
And she's just gonna turn and leave.
Okay. To be fair, yes, you were just like a teenager asking for the drug.
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh.
I would like a marijuana, please.
5 of them.
5 of them. Whoa.
Yeah. Okay. She's gonna go to where I think she's actually just gonna go a bit closer and go to an apothecary.
Okay, so you want to go to I'm gonna go zip back down here. The map is sticky. Little thing about this map is that every so often, when you click on the map and move it around, sometimes the button gets stuck. So even when you let go of the button, it's still moving around, and it makes me so confused. So the next person or the next area is also in the Castle Ward. If you went up the high road and walked down Selduth Street to Warrior's Way, and then head down Warrior's Way, you find Deluntier's Apothecary. Opening, like going into the shop, you see a small halfling. You assume this is Deluntier. He's wearing what looks to be kind of a very nice kind of like merchant's frock coat. And he's looks to be like he has a kind of a weird contraption. It almost looks like eyeglasses, but you can see like another like 8 or 9 lenses. So as he's like kind of like flicking different lenses, he's like peering more intently, and he's looks to be like cutting up some type of a plant, but he's doing so with like very great care and precision. Matter of fact, as soon as you like open the door and you think you're being stealthy, he holds up a hand almost as a just hang on a second, and he's just kind of like cutting up, and it doesn't take him very long, but he makes a few incisions and then sets down the glasses and right, hello, how can I help you today?
Right. I'm looking for some equipment, bottles, racks, stir thingies.
So you want a apothecary's kit? Is that what you're asking?
More like a. You know what? Yeah, apothecary kit. We'll start with that.
Okay. Let's have a look. And he kind of hops down off of his stool. Right. Well, first you're gonna need a mortar and pestle. That's very important. And he picks up this like kind of what looks to be like a stone bowl, and then a like little stone. You know what a mortar and pestle is. You have, don't you? You have like an MBA and everything. Smart. I'm actually just going to do this. Let me just double check, because I think Poisoner's kit is kind of this, almost exactly the same.
Yeah, I think that's what she would kind of assume.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, he kind of brings out that. He brings out a rack of different vials and other things. And he kind of like sets it all up. Right. Well, for all this, oh, there's no apothecary kit. So basically, it'd be like a healer's kit.
There is a poisoner's kit.
There is a poisoner's kit, yeah, but I mean, it's also like, would you go into a city and say, hey, I would like to make poison for absolutely no other reason other than it's a hobby of mine and I like to work with plants? That's like saying, can I buy 1,500 pounds of Anfo because I like to grow things? Like, that really doesn't.
Would it be an herbalism kit then?
Yeah, probably I guess an herbalism kit would probably be very close enough. But again, vials. There's other bits that he kind of sells you, but essentially, it's as he puts the whole thing up, it's about 50 gold pieces.
Just a quick question. Was Anna able to find any books on poison plants, anything like that in the library?
You didn't. You actually kind of left right away to go there. You haven't really checked the library yet. But once you get back, you can make an investigation check.
Okay. Okay. She would give the money, the gold.
Yeah, and he bags it all up for you, and on you go. Little beans.
Mm-hmm.
After about this point, it's probably been about an hour and a half for the rest of you back at the Troll Skull Manor. Your fox comes back, and Six, you're probably sitting down or talking about how great Six is, because that's what Six does.
I don't talk about myself all the time.
Yeah,
But I'm probably talking about this wonderful new act that I have.
probably. So the fox goes running straight at you. You see it kind of sneak through. You don't even know how it got in. The door's closed and locked. That was kind of weird. But it leaps up, and as it leaps up, it kind of bursts into what looks to be like dust, like this glittery dust, and it kind of coalesces back into your hand, into a little porcelain white kit fox, and there's also a piece of paper, a rolled up piece of paper in your hand as well.
This is where I should have said, what does the fox say?
Actually, yes, that would have been the perfect time, but oh well. Unrolling the paper, you do hear something from Mert. Mert writes that he does have a job that requires some help, but he's a little hesitant to give it to you because it concerns your friend. 3 strings. But if you wish to accept, you would say he asks you to meet him in the place where it all started once again. And that would be in the Yawning Portal.
Interesting. All right, well, it appears as though we may have a job.
All right, fantastic. What do we need to do? What does that note say?
Well, this is the best kind of instruction. It basically says we need to meet him in a tavern. But not just any tavern. The tavern. Have you ever been to the Yawning Portal?
No, I have not.
Oh, this place is incredible. Did you know this place has a very large opening in the middle of the floor that actually opens into the Undermountain?
What? Undermountain?
It goes underground and under the city, and I've never been. But I did knock a glass of beer into it once, and I did not hear a sound.
That's so cool. Oh,
although I may have been distracted by the if I remember correctly, that was the night I almost got the well, let's just say it didn't go very well.
No? Well, maybe on the way you could tell me that story.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to head off for the Yawning Portal.
All right. And I think this would be a perfect time to take a little break. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, everyone, for coming on down and watching us play tonight. I mean, it's I'm having fun. I think we're starting to build something here, and I think it's funny that because we're missing Dwight, that everyone's going to say, "Hey, let's spend money," and now let's desperately try and fill our coffers back again so no one notices. However, such is life, and yeah. So I hope you're all having fun, and perhaps we will see you after the break.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Thanks for everybody that's tuned in so far. A special thank you to Star19 for gifting 2 Tier 1 subs in honor of Megan's birthday, as well as the bits from EverJ and Chesic students for that same reason. You can see that we're stacked with 15 domain dice. All right, we are going to be back, as Mike said, in about 10 minutes. Please stick around, and we'll see you after the break. Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is The Intermission. Mini Terrain Domain, or MTD, is a channel dedicated to the love of and participation in the world of tabletop role-playing games. Whether we're designing encounters or miniature terrain, building worlds or dice towers, or just playing games, everything we do here is because we love this amazing hobby. That is why the mission statement of Mini Terrain Domain is simply imagine, build, play. If you like to watch live play or actual play D&D games, you can do so at twitch.tv/Mini Terrain Domain 3 days a week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays, you can join us for Cult of Personality, a long-running campaign set in the Tomb of Annihilation adventure setting. On Mondays, you can join us for All That Glitters, a Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign guaranteed to be epic proportion. And every Thursday night, you can join us for Dawnbringers, the Forge of Fury. This is a series of mini campaigns going across the gamut of several well-known modules. Season 1, which is available on youtube.com/Mini Terrain Domain, took place in the Sunless Citadel, and Season 2 is currently taking place in the Forge of fury. If you can't join us in the chat for our live shows, that's okay. You can usually catch the roleplay, or rather the replay, on YouTube just 2 days later. If you're a fan of what we do here and you'd like to support what we do, there are a variety of ways you can do this. First, simply follow the Twitch channel or hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Next, make sure you follow all of the participants of each game or show on their various social media platforms. To do this, if you're watching live with us on Twitch, you can simply type an exclamation point and that person's name into the Twitch chat, or on YouTube, you can look down below the information bar and all of their links can be found there. Finally, if you would like to provide monetary support, which flows right back into the production of the channel so we can continue making great content, you can join the growing list of patrons on Patreon. Additionally, you can also use Ko-Fi or Coffee to buy a coffee or two. I like coffee. But the absolute best way to support the channel is to follow and subscribe on Twitch and YouTube and join us in the chat. If you have an Amazon Prime account and you link it to your Twitch account, you can subscribe to one channel per month absolutely free. No matter what you decide to do, we are just happy to have you here. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more great content in just a few moments. Remember, metadata!
Hi everyone, I'm V and I have the YouTube channel The Crafting Muse. Please be sure to go over there and check it out if you too would like to learn how to make some tabletop terrain, paint miniatures, as well as some game accessories. I'm always happy to have new subscribers over there.
Learn the ways of the Game Master, the Dungeon Master, and delve into the minds of the players. If you're looking for adventure, excitement, thrills, and a dice-rolling good time, grab the modules each month and play the campaign with your gaming group with quest givers DM Scotty and DMG. They're taking you on an epic journey through the role-playing experience every Friday. You're sure to get hooked on adventure.
And we really liked the idea of creating adventures together, so we thought that'd be a lot of fun to share with you guys.
I didn't think this kind of stuff would come out of my brain. We are quest givers, and I'll see you in the next video.
Adventure Mixtape, a music and adventure anthology, is a collection of 4 adventures for the 5th edition of the world's most popular role-playing game. The adventures are setting neutral and meant to be seamlessly dropped into any world that has a large seaside city and a jungle environment. With a bit of adaptation, the environments could be changed to suit any group. In Treaty of the Tiger King by Kelsey Dion of the Arcane Library, a distant king arrives at the city to negotiate the peaceful end of a war, but the Mercenary Guild has other insidious plans for him. Will the players be able to thwart assassination attempts against King Rami and help him negotiate circles of social intrigue in order to finally end the war? In Madness of the Majestic Menagerie by Ken Brees of Burling's Beard, the famous Majestic Menagerie draws hordes of visitors to the metropolis and cultural hub known since time immemorial as Splendor by the Sea. But now the gates of the famous zoo have been shut, and the grand opening of the new section has been jeopardized by a spate of mysterious accidents and, it's whispered, grievous injuries due to uncontrollable creatures. Mr. Majestic seeks to hire investigators and troubleshooters who can keep a low profile to iron out any problems before the impending grand opening becomes a complete disaster. Do you have what it takes to uncover what's driving the madness that's befallen the Majestic Menagerie? In The Infernal Collection by Sharm Biswas, when an influential fashion designer is found dead days before a major fashion show, heroes are called in to solve the mystery, prevent any further destruction, and help the fashion house prepare for the show. Gorillas in Their Midst by Jacob W. Norman of Mini Terrain Domain is a pulp action adventure wrought with perilous challenges and high possibility of death. But what is adventure without danger? Of course, there is the lure of vast piles of unclaimed treasure and the accompanying fame that await those intrepid adventurers who would defy the odds and plunge into the heart of darkness. In this adventure, the characters will face raging river rapids, wicked waterfalls, poisonous plants, venomous vines, sinking sands, treacherous traps, and the vicious jungle demon itself, Awakane Gori. Grab your satchels, fedoras, and bullwhips. Adventure awaits. The Adventure mixtape also comes with 4 original songs inspired by and written for the heroic adventures herein. This collection of music and story is something unique. We had no better word for it than mixtape. If you ever received a cassette, CD, or digital playlist curated to take you on a memorable journey, then you'll recognize what you find inside this volume. Also included in the Adventure mixtape, courtesy of Kelsey Dion of the Arcane Library, are exclusive combat cards. Special cards that contain all of the items, monsters, and spellcasters found within these adventures to make running your adventure all the more easier. Adventure Mixtape, a music and adventure anthology, is available exclusively on drivethrurpg.com.
Cryforth, once home to the most wondrous kingdom the world had ever known, blasted to nothing in just a fortnight. It is here that the fiends of hell walk among us. It is here where all things die. Welcome to Cryforth. Demon invaders roam the landscape and have conquered all. The world is a ravaged and wrathful wasteland, where the old world lies buried beneath the blood and sand with its gods and its secrets. Water is fought over with blood and steel. Compatible with the 5th edition of the world's oldest fantasy role-playing game, this book contains all new character creation options, including all of the familiar classes with new aspects befitting the ravaged wastelands of Cryforth, along with new backgrounds, subclasses, spells, feats, and so much more. New races will allow you to play as the cursed Asche Elves, the Forsaken Humans, the Primordial Incarnate, the Proud Orcs, the Reptilian Suri, or the Infernal-Blooded Tieflings. New game mechanics such as blood, grit, and effort give your games an intense focus on lethality and survival. Numerous role tables full of ideas to help bring your games to life. Featuring incredible thematic art by Brandish Gilhelm of Broomhammer Games, as well as Lloyd Collins. The people of Cryforth are not heroes. In Cryforth it is courage just to survive. Will you rise to face the tide of demons, or will you succumb to the hostile elements? Available now on drivethrurpg.com.
And we're back. Ha, see? Beat you, Jake.
I was giving it to you.
Yeah, sure. Sure you were. All right. So, Anna, you now have a poisoner's kit on you. Where would you like to go?
She's gonna return.
Back up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you head back up, and, carry on with how you're going, your passive perception's pretty good. Make me a perception check. Not with advantage.
That is a 23.
you just get this feeling that like someone is following you. Like you can't put your finger on it exactly, and looking back and around, you can't quite see like anyone in particular, but you just got this feeling that someone's following you, and I don't know.
Okay. So I think with that, she would begin to just take odd ways, maybe going down like lesser populated areas to try and see if she can single out whoever is looking or following her.
Okay. Yeah, so as you move, I mean, you kind of like head through alleyways that you know aren't dead ends, and kind of like end up like kind of skipping through, and all the while you're kind of like looking back. Make me another perception check.
That is a 16.
Okay. You like no one really stands out. I mean, you know, with High Harvest Tide being over, everyone's just kind of like starting to move around and get things ready for the winter. You know, starting to pick up like lots of groceries that they can like, you know, like kind of like store into barrels or into jars, and to kind of like keep in their basement. So I mean, a lot of people are running around and picking things up and kind of getting their own type of stuff ready. So you can't really tell anything off the off your radar that you can see. So as you begin to kind of continue on and make your way, are you going to eventually take the high road up, or are you just going to carry on with going like a circuitous route back to Troll Skull?
I think after a while, when her plan hasn't really worked, she would just continue to take the high road and yeah.
Sure. Then in that case, either Six or Asche, pick one. It's all good. Or and Anna, like you, either one of you two, and you to roll me a D100.
Go for it, Asche.
Okay, D100. Wait, I think I have a D10 in here. Yeah, all right. I got 32.
Got a 23.
Cool. And that is actually close enough, because they say that Waterdeep is a massive city that you could get lost in. And yet, as you're walking up the high road, you see Six and Asche walking down the high road towards wherever they're going. So you three literally bump into each other. Well, not literally, but figuratively.
Awesome.
Where are you guys going?
Oh, we were. I'm taking Asche to the yawning portal. We're going to have a drink, and we're going to meet somebody there about a possible job.
I love a drink. Could you wait for just a few minutes? I just got to drop this stuff off.
Sure, why not?
Okay, do you want us to wait here for you while you go back to the house, or you just want to meet us at the tavern?
Oh, right, yeah.
I mean, I've got to go there, and I've got to talk to Mert, and you know, he's getting a little testy about bringing certain people. So I figured we would go there, get the drinks, and then I would go and talk to Mert and see what he has to say, and go from there. So you go do what you got to do.
Is it like halfway kind of thing? Like if they already come? Okay.
Yeah. So, well, basically, if you've or taking the high road, if you look on the map right at Trader's Way, like right at that little kind of small road, between that and the high road, kind of at that like little intersection. That's where the three of you are right now.
Okay.
So I mean,
Alright,
it's still going to take you like a good 10, 15-minute walk to get back home.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I just wasn't sure if they had just stepped right out and then okay. Right, yeah. Meet there. She's gonna continue walking with her supplies.
Sure. And it's relatively uneventful. That feeling that you were being watched is no longer there. Like there's nothing, So you make it back and you drop off your stuff. Did you want to check out the library before he said, yeah, I do. Sure. Make me an investigation check. And we'll see how long it takes you to find something.
That 19.
Okay, that's pretty good. So yeah, it takes you about 2 or 3 minutes. It seems that Liff, when he was alive, kept this library actually even after death. He keeps his books kind of in sections by like cooking and by politics and other things. But you do find this one section not only on cooking but just on herbology as well. So you see different herbs and different like flowers and different plants. Some like quickly like leafing through the books. You can see that it has like sections that are like you can cook this with this, or don't eat this because it will turn your face blue and then it'll fall off. Like it has all the different types of like what to eat and what not to eat. And then you can quickly surmise that if you gathered some of these plants, you could probably make yourself like some of the special ones. You could probably make yourself a fairly decent poison.
Okay, so she would just kind of load all that stuff up in her little attic room, make sure the room is closed, secured, and she would probably get out, and she would actually probably catch a carriage to the yawning portal, because it's kind of far away, right? Yeah,
it is. Yeah, I mean, it would be a good half an hour walk.
Yeah,
like solid half an hour walk. All right, so Asche and Six, you guys make it to the yawning portal in fairly quick time, with Anna kind of like lagging behind by about 5 minutes. You still got to hail a carriage, and you know how hard it is in the city to try and hail a carriage. I mean, sitting there with your arm up, you're yelling, you're whistling, But as you two step into the yawning portal, you see Mert sitting there, kind of dressed a bit nicer. Seems like he's dressed in like what looks to be kind of more, I guess, not really ceremonial, but more like business-like for what he does, for his job.
Asche, why don't you see if you can find a table? I'm going to go talk to my associate here and see what he has to say.
Sounds good, Six. And Asche will go and get a table, giving them a little bit of space.
Yeah, Mert kind of just kind of motions you over, and I guess using his own interesting abilities, kind of like pulls out a chair for you, just kind of like flexes his hand, and the chair just kind of like just like slides back on the wooden floor.
It is good to see you again so soon, after having just seen you under different circumstances.
Yes, indeed. Please, have a seat. So, you know Three Strings. So you know him fairly well?
We have traveled in the same circles for a bit of... Yes. Not super well, but I know him.
All right. He has suggested a few friends of his that would be quite right for our organization. Now, he's a little biased, as one does when one vouches for their friends. So I need an unbiased opinion of Metrim's associates. They're a group of individuals who have a very special talent. And he kind of lowers his voice and he gets very, very kind of close to you. You see they're doppelgangers. Now, normally we would not be too thrilled of the idea of associating with doppelgangers given their past, but it is definitely something we could look past if there are groups of individuals who are willing to assist in securing the Harpers. Now, the reason why I asked you here is because one of the doppelgangers, the leader, is here. Matter of fact, you've met her before. Her name is Bonnie. She's a server here at the Yawning Portal. Interview her, talk to her, see if she can, see if you can persuade her into bringing the rest of the group forward, and then interview them. See if they're any good, they're any useful. Just find out if they're honorable. If they don't, then fine, we can cross that bridge when we come to it. But we just need to ensure that they're on the up and up.
This seems like a task that I think I could handle very well. I thank you for entrusting me with it.
Good. Well, this is very important. Normally, we wouldn't, but you've done some very good work for the Harpers so far, even with losing your bloody pin. But that's all in the past now. And with the fact that you're handling another important issue for the city of Waterdeep, I'm sure that there's other things that you can do for Waterdeep. I think you understand what I mean. So yes, I will leave you to it. He kind of looks over, and then he kind of looks like off in a direction, and kind of nods his head, and kind of like just does a very quick little point. I've already sent a bottle of wine over to your table. Go be with your friend, enjoy, and I'll leave you to it.
All right. I will send you word when I have learned what I can learn.
Good. Oh, and by giving me the report, once you give me the report, I can give you your remittance. I'll give you 100 gold pieces for every person who assists you in this manner. And this part is very important. They're Metrim's friends. So if you feel that you want to gain the information through more aggressive means, I would highly suggest against it.
I will take your suggestion under advisement.
Make it a very, very, very important suggestion.
But of course.
Good. And Mert stands up kind of like fixes his waistcoat. Bid you a good day. And he turns and he walks out the door. And as he's walking out, you're kind of walking in. You kind of see Mert for just the barest glimpse of a moment as he kind of takes off.
She's gonna make a point to like wave at him and just be as obnoxious as possible, even just like kind of like pointing at her nose and like, hey, like that kind of thing. She's just trying to be an ass.
And as you're kind of like doing that, he stops and goes, "You're more like 6 than I thought," and walks away. That's a cut and barb for you.
Yeah, immediately Anna's face would fall. That is like an insult kind of to her.
Is that unintended consequences?
She would. Right? Did you find a way to get something? Coin?
Well, let's go over here with Asche, and I would go find Asche at the table. It's a pretty simple task, I think. There's somebody here that I need to talk to, and I need to interview her to see if they are good fit for the organization, and she has some friends, and we have to just see if they're going to be good allies for this organization. And if we can figure this out, and I pointedly look at Anna, do so in a non-violent, non-aggressive way, we could earn 100 gold pieces each.
That sounds
good.
fantastic.
So here's what I am
kind
thinking.
of. Sorry.
No, you were saying?
So what kind of talk? Is there some sort of like initiation, bloodletting, that kind of thing?
You did just hear the part where I said through non-aggressive, non-violent ways, yes?
It's not aggressive.
Bloodletting. Look, here's what I am thinking. I'm going to talk to this person, and we're just going to get a sense to know them, and then we are going to pose them a hypothetical question, a few of these to see, what would they do? What would you do if you found a coin purse lying in the street, and you see a person nearby, checking themselves like they lost something? What would you do, Anna?
I don't. Well, obviously you know what I would do. That's probably why I'm not part of the Harpers. Though I was asked, so that's not really a fair question.
Well, this is what I am thinking. We're just going to get to know these people, and we're going to see how they are.
But that brings up a good point. How do you know if they're going to be good or not? Because I was asked and you were asked, and that's just very different.
Six is completely at a loss. It doesn't matter. You're not in the Harpers. I am in the Harpers.
Oh, right. So right? What makes a good Harper then?
Well, I certainly do. I'm sort of like thumbs in the collar. So, I'm hold on a minute. And I'm going to scan the yawning portal, and I'm looking for 3 strings.
All right. Make me a perception check.
Boom, boom. Let's see. Perception. Oh, I'm not so very bad. Let's use this die. That's an 11.
You don't see him. However, you do see someone you do recognize, and that is a young, red-haired server who is walking towards you. You've met her before. Matter of fact, well, almost all of you, with the exception of Asche, met her the very first time. She was the first person who served you. Her name is Bonnie, and she is a server at the Yawning Portal. She comes up with a bottle of wine, and at first it was 2 glasses, and then she realizes her mistake and sets the bottle down. I'm so sorry. I didn't know there was a third person coming. I'll get you a glass, dearie. Does anybody want anything to eat?
No, thank you.
All right.
No, they say no trouble at all. Bonnie, what it was, yes?
That's right. Yes, you remembered.
Yes. I think, you could maybe, we would love to have some kind of, just, something light and snacky for the table. Something savory to complement this, what is no doubt a delicious wine.
Okay. Well, get a meat platter ready, and maybe a bit of cheese as well. I think the summer pickles are in. If you'd like a pickle or 2.
That all sounds absolutely wonderful.
Right, okay. Will there be anything else?
I think that'll do for now. I'm going to wait until she has brought us food and stuff.
Okay. All right then. And she totters off to get that ready.
And I'm just keeping an eye on her, just seeing how she. Trying to say this without sounding like a creeper. I'm trying to see how she moves through the yawning portal. Just her interactions coming to and fro.
Makes sense. Like a creeper. Yeah. Essentially.
How just kind of observing her.
Okay, creepy. Cool. All right. So as you, she doesn't really do anything different or anything like outstanding in her movements or anything else. She walks towards the bar. Looks like some kind of young, greasy adventurer tries to grab her on the buttocks, and without missing a beat, as she's talking to someone else, she just kind of reaches over with her tray and smacks him like on the head, hard enough that he kind of like hits the bar top pretty hard. She grabs another glass, like she's very, very dexterous young woman. She very quickly grabs a glass, tells the kind of like what looks to be like the kind of like the hearth, or at least the cooking area, the kitchen, of what to put together. And then she's just talking to Durnan. You could tell like she's kind of pointing in like to like some other tables and whatnot. And then sure enough, 5-6 minutes later, your order comes up. You see, like a large plate of different cuts of meat. You see what looks to be 2 pickles the size of like a zucchini. They're massive. 2 of those, and like some different cheeses, with a few cheese knives on it. You know, she kind of gets that whole thing platter put together, kind of hoists it. The lecherous kind of creepy guy kind of puts his head up for a moment, and she just kind of walks by casually and takes 2 fingers in the back of his head and bounces it again off the bar. He's passed out again, and she walks over and hands Anna her glass and sets the platter down, pickles down, and she grabs like a couple of cloth napkins. Those pickles are a bit juicy. I'm not going to lie to you there. Hey, and she passes out some napkins.
Well, thank you very much, Bonnie. Say, I was wondering, if you're not too busy, do you have a moment?
It's the yawning portal. I'm always busy, but
when is your shift over?
not till the evening. Just started.
Oh.
Why? What do you need?
Well, I was just wondering if you had some time to talk sometime.
Look, you're really nice, and you remind me of my first house cat. I mean, and he was so cute, but this wouldn't.
I'm going to, for the moment, I'm going to just ignore the house cat thing. I'll accept that as a compliment. I'm sorry, I'm not I'm not asking you out. A mutual friend of ours is a musician by the name of he is known by the name of 3 Strings.
And her eyes kind of like light up. Metrum? What about him?
Yes, he and I have we have been friends for a number of years, and we've done some performances together. He used to play some incredible music for me while I would do my sword dancing, and so whenever we could, you know, we actually should do something. And I start just sort of talking about, you know, this act, this idea, like I'm suddenly sidetracked brainstorming an act.
You'd feel a sharp kick under the table.
And then he would destroy me. Oh, yes. Excuse me. But yes, 3 Strings and I, we are quite familiar. So I know that you are an acquaintance of his, and I'm just wondering if you have aspirations beyond working here at the Yawning Portal. I'm sure it is quite a fulfilling work that you do, and I appreciate the services you provide here. But I'm wondering.
She actually like squats down so that she's actually looking at you, like kind of, you know, eye to eye, and she kind of leans in to the table, like to everyone. Is this about the harbors?
Yes, that is exactly what it is about.
Right. What do you need to know?
Well,
wait, you're the ones that are supposed to be interviewing all of us, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That good. Look, it's gonna take a couple of days to get everyone together, but I don't know. Where do you want to talk to everyone?
Well, I'm hoping this isn't doesn't cause any kind of a conflict of interest for you, but have you heard of the Nobody's Inn?
Oh, right, that's that new pub with the terrible pun. Yeah. I'm sorry, puns aren't really my thing, but yeah, I wouldn't mind checking that place out. I've not been yet.
It's an up and coming establishment. We know the owners, so we can assure a nice, quiet place to have an interview.
Okay. Yeah, sure, we can do that.
So you say in a couple of days you can gather your associates.
Yes, just give me 2 days, and I'll get everyone together, and we can have a chat.
That sounds wonderful. I am 6 days into summer. You'll be sure to ask for me when you show up at the Nobody's Inn.
That's funny because you really look like a 10 days into winter, but that's fine.
I thought, and you say the puns are not your thing.
And she stands up, and as she stands up, you hear, "Buddy, you get another pint here." And she says, "I'm sorry, I have to go. But yes, 2 days, Nobody's Inn. You got it."
Looking forward to it.
And she turns around and walks, and "I'll get you your pint." And she saddles up to the bar. This time that guy is like totally out, so she doesn't even have to hit him again.
All right, well that went pretty good. We'll just have to wait a couple days for them to show up to the inn, and we can conduct the interviews.
Could we do something interesting?
Like what?
Have them really prove their worth. I don't know. Make them jump through hoops of fire or something? I don't know. I've never done an interview. This is really exciting.
I guess, so I didn't get to really hear your conversation. What is it that the Harpers need from this, from Bonnie and her associates?
I'm simply trying to vet them for, to make sure they meet the standards of the Harper organization. You know, we as an organization, we are very particular on the type of members we allow into our ranks, and we have a certain degree of honor, if you will.
Yes.
And
so then why did they pick you? I'm sorry, that was very low-hanging fruit. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Shots fired.
Not sorry.
I think by this point, I'm getting pretty used to your jabs and just sort of dodge out of the way of that one. So we will, so here's the thing. Bonnie and her friends, there's more to them than meets the eye, I am told. They are what is called a doppelganger.
What is that?
And you know how sometimes I can do magic and make myself look like somebody else, or I put on a disguise as an actor and I get on the stage and I look like a different person and I become a different person.
Yes.
Then it is sort of like that, but they can do this without. They can do this as a natural way.
Oh. It's very interesting. I can see. So they want to join the Harpers. I imagine they would be amazing on the stage then.
Well, I'm certain they would have all kinds of talents, but you can understand how somebody who can so easily change their appearance, they could have some. Well, this is why we need to investigate them, to interview them.
Of course.
And Mike, sorry, I was making assumptions that Six knew what a doppelganger was. I had rolled an insight check earlier. But
yeah, no, you would have known. I think at this point what a doppelganger is. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of people know what doppelgangers are. For the most, like especially those who are a bit more like world savvy, or at least those who have like heard stories, been in taverns. You've been in tons of taverns, performing and drinking and performing. So yeah, you would know what a you would have heard stories about, doppelgangers ambushing trade caravans or doppelganger assassins or individuals like that.
I mean, already my curiosity is piqued that with such a skill that Bunny is choosing the form that she is and is working here at the Yawning Portal.
Should we follow them? Or at least see what she's really up to. Maybe.
That's not a bad idea. It's sort of like, hey, meet me in 2 days and we are going to conduct an interview. But surprise, the interview has already started.
Well, I think for that, we should definitely have Bevyn along. If anybody's going to be tracking anybody, it's going to be Bevyn and Anna.
Wait a
Not
minute.
me.
Are you suggesting I don't have the ability to track
Of
somebody?
course not. I never said any such thing.
Of course you're not suggesting that, or of course not, I don't have the ability.
Of course I'm not suggesting that.
I'm the DM and I'm shouting it from the rooftops.
I mean, it's very telling that I'm looking at my stats to see what even would apply to that. I can be very convincing.
I think Ashe likes it, so she's like, no, I know you can still track. I think Anna and Bevyn would do it more successfully.
This feels very patronizing. Like, no, sweetie. Of course you can track them.
Pretty much, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll actually end this session apparently the same way as we've ended the last few sessions, with you guys sitting and drinking and eating.
We're setting a precedent.
You are definitely setting a precedent. And just enjoying a meal while, Bonnie and everyone else in Waterdeep goes on about their day and carries on. Now, I will tell you that the time now, so just for you guys, you'll know for next session, as you're upon eating and finishing your meal, the time is going to be around 1 o'clock. And what we'll do is we'll pick it up next session with you guys finishing up, paying up, leaving the Yawning Portal. Actually, not paying up. You will attempt to pay, but you'll realize that Mert had already started a small tab for you. But you won't know that until after you're done and are ready to leave, because letting you take advantage of them like that. It's like, here, drink as much as you want. Drink for free. It's on me. It's all on me. And then you drink all of Waterdeep dry through the Yawning Portal. So.
Sounds good.
All right. So, a question as we get ready to head out of here, and this is for Megan. Are we playing next Monday?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's more specifically directed at Megan, because Megan's schedule next weekend could determine whether or not, and it's, we're definitely not playing the following week because all 4 of us that are currently here on the stream are going to be in Tacoma, Washington for AtCon.
Yes, AtCon.
That is very true. I finally get to meet Jake in person, give him that big kiss that everyone in the audience has been like, man, if I would totally hug that guy if I ever saw him in real life. I'm gonna.
I told Matt Click on Twitter recently, or actually no, it was in a message. We were talking about something. I said, in regards to hugs, it's all the bear and twice the hugs. I am a hugger, but I will be respectful and just say I'm a hugger. So feel free to come up and hug me. I won't hug you without permission. So, but regarding next week, I don't know exactly what your schedule is, Megan.
Yes, all my family, well, not all my family, but everything should be winding down. So
have we ever actually said what is happening next week? Because
No.
we just kind of allude
this
to
week?
it. Or this
week, Friday.
Oh, it's on Friday. I was thinking it was on the weekend. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess
what's going
Friday is
on?
the weekend. What's happening, Megan? What's happening next Friday?
Myself and another, because that is how that thing usually works. It usually takes two people. The other half of Dice on Ice, Connor, we are getting married.
Awesome! Congratulations.
It's very exciting. Connor and Megan are both players in the Cult of Personality game on Sundays, along with Mike. And Connor and I play together with some others in the Tuesday night game, the alternating Tuesday night game that Megan DMs for Curse of Strahd. So we're very excited for them, of course. And it's absolutely incredible that their honeymoon is coming to Tacoma to hang out with friends.
That's fantastic.
What better way to do it than play games and hang out with people?
Exactly. So,
so it should all be over and done by then, so I will be able to make it.
So I'm thinking as long as everybody else's schedule is still good, we should be playing next Monday, but we'll not be playing the following Monday, which would be July 1st, I think. So we will plan on that. You can tune in next week Monday to catch us for episode 24 of All That Glitters. And then I don't think we're not playing Curse of Strahd until mid-July.
July
right?
9th.
July 9th. Dawnbringers had the season finale already, and then with everybody's schedules, because V and Ted are going to D&D in a castle in the UK, and then of course, we're all going to AtCon. So we are also resuming. Dawnbringers will resume on Thursdays on July 11th, so that same week of the Curse of Strahd game. And then you'll have to stay tuned to MTD_Jake on Twitter to determine if this group will be getting together on Sunday for our Cult of Personality game. If we can, we'll get together next Sunday for another game of that, and then again, same thing, because of AtCon, we won't play for a week. So be sure to follow all of these wonderful people on their social media handles, which you can kind of see up above our heads, or you can type in our names in the chat, or on the VoDs over on youtube.com/miniterrain domain. Everybody's social medias are linked down in the information bars. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you for all of the gifted subscriptions and the resubs and the bits, all in honor of Megan's birthday. And we even used one or two of those domain dice, and we're still sitting here flush with domain dice. So we thank you for that. And of course, a tremendous thank you to Mike, as always, for running this game. And yes, I saw your note in the chat. I deliberately avoided making a Transformers joke when I said more than meets the eye. I was already on thin ice with the Fox joke. But thank you to Mike, as always, for running this amazing campaign, and once again making my mouth water with the descriptions of food. Thank you to Cassie and Megan. And we send our well wishes to Dwight, who was feeling under the weather tonight and couldn't be here. So next week, we get to tell him that we spent 500 gold.
Oh, he's gonna love it.
And to deduct it. And that, hey, guess what? We made you go do it. So that'll be fun. So thank you, everybody. As always, we are going to end the stream the same way we always do. And you can say it with us if you want.